the Chinese police stations. We closed down a facility in Houston, and the Chinese police stations are coming up significantly and a lot. Are y'all working very hard to shut those down where you can find them?
Well, you mentioned two things, and they're both reflections of the Chinese government's, in my view, contempt for the rule of law and international norms. In Houston, we worked with Secretary Pompeo at the time and closed the Houston consulate, which was being misused by the Chinese government for all sorts of activities that we're just not going to tolerate in this country. Then secondly, there are these so-called police stations that have been set up in a number of countries without proper coordination that are, in many instances at least, illegal. And we recently, I called this out in testimony early last fall or mid last fall, we recently were able to conduct law enforcement actions, and one in New York was shut down. We've announced some arrests, I think just last week, I think it was, that included, among other things, obstruction of justice charges. And it's frankly outrageous that the Chinese government would think that it could set up shop here on our soil and conduct uncoordinated, unsanctioned, illegal law enforcement operations. And unfortunately, it fits in with a pattern of the Chinese government trying to basically run willy-nilly, disregard for the rule of law, and threaten, harass, stalk, surveil dissidents, in many cases Chinese Americans here in the United States. And it's not just happening in the United States, unfortunately, which is why the FBI is working closely with some of our counterparts in other countries where the Chinese government has shown a similar contempt for, again, international norms and the rule of law.